What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Baseball Now podcast. Once again, unfortunately, Stephen unable to join me this week, but I'm your host, Mason Braggins, as always, here on the podcast. Hopefully, Stephen and I can work out a time to get together to have both of us on the podcast once again. But recapping the week, as always, and in this week, I wanna do something a little bit different. I kind of just want to just talk about what we're seeing from the top teams, what needs to change, kind of like some trends that we're seeing, both positive and negative trends. Instead of kind of just focusing and kind of talking about teams, so we'll talk about that. But I do first want to start and highlight some of the incredible defensive plays that were made, and I guess offensive plays that happened over this past week because boy were there a lot. You know, the Cubs didn't score a whole lot of runs this week, but they sure as heck stopped a lot of runs from scoring. Uh, this is just from MLB. They posted some crazy plays. Wade Meckler, a sliding catch in foul ground out in left field off of a fly ball that should have been a foul ball off of Jake Berger, but he slides, catches it, an excellent play. Wow, that's pretty. Some great ones. Number 9 on this. I honestly think this should be higher, but Heriberto Hernandez of the Marlins hitting a walk-off grand slam again for the Marlins against, you guessed it, the Mets. Against Devin Williams, who was supposed to be back in vintage form after a couple successful outings, but unfortunately giving up that grand slam in that game this week. Unfortunate, but something that did go well. Well, I guess it didn't go well for the Mets is this next play. Again, the Mets will be the Mets. Nasim Nunez, an incredible diving play at second base against the Mets. He plays for the Nationals to get an out on Mark Vientos in whatever inning this is, whatever game this was during the week. A great diving play here. Also, this is one of the craziest things. Ketel Marte hitting a walk-off grand slam against the Giants earlier in the week. I think that was the first half of the week, and it was a golf swing. Like he went down for this ball to scoop this guy up. It was a ridiculous hit. Um, and one thing I will point out, I think if you watch, I've mentioned him a couple times here on the podcast, but made the cut, made a video on this. The Giants announcers were just genuinely, they were so pissed, and I'm just like, I can understand, because of how frustrating the Giants season has been, to start 2026. But, as someone who loves the game, as someone who loves the commentators in the game, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to just not say anything. Like Ketel Marte hit this ball, and it was just dead silence from the Giants booth. I think that is definitely a little bit disrespectful to the game. I still think, regardless of the outcome, you should still make a call. Even if it's just like you don't have to be enthusiastic. Like I understand, you're a Giants fan. You are cheering for the Giants as their commentator. That makes sense, Totally get that. But I mean, you still I think it is your responsibility as a play-by-play announcer to still make the call and be like, Ketel Marte hits a walk-off grand slam off of Gage. And then you can go silent. Then you can feel bad about it. I think it's a little bit disrespectful to the to what commentators bring to the sport. But yeah, just a great hit by Ketel Marte. Again, can't believe he hit it. It was a golf. Um, I think this is also in the same game or the same series that our first play was about, Angels Rangers. Oswald Peraza, the Angels' second baseman, slides to get the ball. Was going to get in the gap, and he's on the ground. Like he slides, and from the ground he throws it to second base to get the final out of the inning. Uh, what a throw! What a play! I don't think I've seen that one before. I think this type of play I have not seen before. Just the slide, and as he's just on the ground, bang, puts it right into the glove of the shortstop who's on second base. On number 5, guess who? The Mets. Jacob Marcy robbing of the Marlins, robbing a home run in deep center field, or a ball that was going to hit off the top of the wall at the very least. Uh, yeah, just a great catch. That's in. They're playing. It looks like in Miami. That's 400 feet back. So to get there on time, jump, make the catch right up against the wall. No fly zone. Number 4 play, Aaron Judge against the Rays gets the I don't know what this is. I mean, I know it's a home run. I can tell you that much. The way MLB has it captioned doesn't really give much information about what else is happening. I I think potentially a walk off is what this is, or just um like an eighth inning home run or something to steal the game. I don't know what it is, but it must have been big. But I can't see the score bug, so I don't know. Number three play is Stephen Kolek of the Royals completing a shutout game against the Mariners. So the Mariners are looking not great right now. Yeah, Stephen Kolek, 9 innings on 4 hits, 0 earned runs in that game against the Mariners. Kind of crazy. Props to that. This play I think is one of my favorites from the week. Nico Horner, second baseman for the Cubs, scoops up just a routine ground ball, and instead of turning around, throwing it to the first baseman Bush, Horner just picks it up barehanded and just throws it underneath his legs to Bush to get the out. I mean, what a play. It's a pretty easy routine ground ball, but I mean, just like he just makes it look fancy by just he did not need to do all that. That's all I'm gonna say. He did not need to do all that. But it makes number 2 of MLB's top plays of this week. So I don't know, but the Cubs didn't score any runs that game. Number 1 play is Jarren Duran scaling the wall for an out. He didn't really scale the wall though. He kind of he just jumped high enough to get his glove above the top of the wall to get an out. He didn't scale it. I mean, when you say scaling the wall, I'm thinking like you jump on the wall and you start to like climb up it. General just jumped up next to the wall. He didn't he did not climb up it. So I don't really know why this gets number 1 because that is not. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. But shout out to the Mets for being the Mets and being the low light of these highlight plays. But with that, I just want to talk about, I don't really have power rankings, but I do want to see, I mean, you look at the top teams in the MLB right now: Rays, Yankees, Guardians, Braves, Brewers, Dodgers, Padres, all those teams have over 30 wins right now. A couple teams are close. You have the Cards and Cubs, both 1 game out. And a couple teams with 27 wins, it looks like. The Athletics have 27 wins. The Nationals have 27 wins. So, yeah, quite a few teams at 30 or close to 30. I mean, we can talk about the Rays. I mean, I think this was definitely a shocking team. I think Steve and I talked about this at the beginning of the season, how we were both kind of like, not expecting much from them, but, surprise us is kind of what we said, and they have definitely been surprising, to say the very least. Um, yeah, I mean, if we look at the stats for the team across the year so far, their team is batting excellently outside of Cedric Mullins, their center fielder, and then one of their backup shortstop, and then a third baseman who's only played 2 games this season. But everybody else is above 200 and well above 200. You got Chandler Simpson, Junior Caminero, Yandy Diaz, Jonathan Aranda, Nick Fortes, Johnny DeLuca. Like, all these guys are just popping off for the Rays. I mean, if you want to take a look at their pitching as well, Nick Martinez, a 1.51 ERA through 59.2. Incredible. Drew Rasmussen, 278 through 55. Shane McClanahan, 282 through 44.2. Like, those 3 guys holding it down. You got their other starter, Steven Matz, 3.7 through 41.1. So not amazing, but he's still kind of hanging in there. And it looks like they have, a couple. It looks like just one other starter who only has started 3 games this season has a 5.17. But their pitching, their bullpen is, I mean, it's a bullpen. So, you got ERAs spread across the board. You got some low ones, you got some high ones, but overall the pitching is definitely really good. They got a plus 40 run differential on the season. Currently 34-16. If you go strictly by record, they're the second best team in the MLB right now. I mean, these guys are crazy. 73 in their last 10. I mean, the Rays I think are really getting it done. There's not too much that's like negatively impacting them, I will say. I mean, if we take a look at the D WAR, there's only a few players in the negatives, but it's not, impacting the team too much. Everybody else has above zeros, so that's pretty good. If we take a look at they got a few players on the IL. I mean, they still have Edwin Uceda on the IL, who I think is definitely, as of late, over the past couple of years, has been one of their better pitchers. Manuel Rodriguez, also in the IL relief pitcher. They have, I don't know when this happened. They got Michael Grove from the Dodgers. When did that happen? His photo on MLB.com is still with the Dodgers, so he hasn't even like gotten a photo in a Rays uniform yet. I don't even know when did that happen. Like what? I don't know, but they got Michael Grove who was on the IL as well. Um, they have Ryan Pepio, one of their better starters, also on the IL. Unfortunately, he won't be playing the rest of the season with a hip injury. Steven Wilson, relief pitcher, hit the 60-day IL on the 8th. Gavin Lux, who came from the Reds, who was previously on the Dodgers. Love that guy. Love you, Lux. He was actually pulled off of his rehab assignment due to a left shoulder injury. So he is he was on rehab for an ankle injury, and now he's back on the IL with a shoulder injury. So that sucks for Lux. Love that guy. They have Cole Sulser, Jake Fraley, Ben Williamson, and Johnny DeLuca all on the IL currently. So not too many injuries. It's just a lot of pitchers, but their pitching staff is definitely still holding it down for the most part. This team is definitely they're one to watch. They're one to watch. They, I think, have a very solid chance of being a playoff team this year. After I think being out of playoffs for a couple of seasons. Next playoff team, I mean, we can talk about the Yankees. I mean, we talk about it every week. They're still one of the best teams. A huge shift from last season. I definitely feel like the Yankees definitely, like, yes, they were a playoff team last season, but they definitely seemed a little bit lost during the season, and especially in the playoffs. But they look like they're back to the 2024 Yankees. Everyone's hitting well for the most part. I think there are a couple players who had slow starts to the season who are finally waking up. You got Judge, obviously has the most home runs for the team as of right now with a 250 average. You have Chisholm, who's finally up to 246. Cody Bellinger with a 274. So after a pretty bad season last season with the Yankees, we're seeing some vintage Cody form. Right now, Ben Rice, who has been an absolute unit for this team, 282 batting average, incredible. Jose Caballero, 261 right now. Stanton, I think, is still on the IL. He's only played in 24 games, but has a 256. So he's playing great as well. The Yankees definitely, I think, are battling a few injuries right now, at least on the offense. I mean, yeah, they have Stanton and Jason Dominguez both on the IL. So those guys battling with injuries. I think Yankees, hopefully, to get them soon. Stanton looks like is to undergo imaging within the next week. So Yankees hoping to get him back, and hopefully he doesn't stay out for an extended period of time for them. And then Jason Dominguez could be ready for a minor league rehab assignment come June. So hoping to get him back on the roster. But then I think I mentioned this last week. They have Clark Schmidt, Andrew Chavilian, Max Fried all on the IL. Definitely hoping Max Fried comes back for them because he has been crazy for them this season. And that injury really, really stinks. But the Yankees, again, they got a plus 67 run differential, so they're looking to make an impression, I guess, to say the least, is what I'm looking for here. Sorry for all the sniffing. My nose is like very, I don't know what's up with my nose right now. Very weird. I'm just trying to get through this podcast. We'll talk about the Guardians next. They're 32-23. This team, I think, is a shocking team. I think Steve and I both said they were going to be a playoff team again, but being on top of the AL Central, I don't think was in our minds. I mean, Brian Rocio, I don't know who this guy is, but he's got a 286 batting average. He has only 4 homers on the season, but 27 RBIs, 69 total bases, 48 hits, most on the team. Like, I don't know where this guy came from, but he's kind of crazy. This guy's kind of ridiculous. He has been very hot as of late for this team, and I mean they're same guys usually as always. Jose Ramirez also batting well, Chase DeLauder batting well, Stephen Kwan batting okay, Angel Martinez batting well. Uh, how do you say this guy's name? Daniel Schneeman, I think is how you say that, batting well as well. So yeah, I mean this, and they recently called up Travis Bazana from the minors. They're the number one prospect in MLB, and this guy in the 24 games he's played this season already has an almost 300 batting average. He has 3 home runs. He has 10 RBIs. He has 25 hits. Like Bazana is kind of crazy right now. So, hoping that this young guy um, plays well, plays very well. And I mean, the pitching staff is not amazing. Their best starting pitcher is Parker Messick with a 224 average right now. But Gavin Williams with the most wins, a 325 ERA. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm just looking. They only have two pitchers below a 2 ERA. They have Eric Sabrowski and Colin Holderman, uh, two solid relief pitchers. I mean, they have Eric Sabrowski with 17 holds and Cade Smith with 18 saves. So those guys looking like they're taking the brunt of the bullpen duty. Those two guys, Cade Smith with a 245 ERA. You have Tim Herron with a 212 in the bullpen as well. He has 5 holds in 22 games played. But I think one thing that is very promising is that all of the starting pitchers for this team have made all of their starts this season. Gavin Williams, Parker Messick, Tanner Bibbies, Slate Sassoni, Joey Cantillo all have started 11 games this season. So I think that's good to see. Very promising. I think that's part of their dominance is that they don't have a lot of pitching injury. I mean, there's one guy on their IL right now. So this team is not shy of injuries, or they aren't shy of players who are healthy, I think is what I'm trying to say. Um, yeah, so they are definitely the Guardians. Very scary to watch. And few injuries is the exact opposite of. We'll jump to talk about the Dodgers here. I mean, I'll start right there. The Dodgers have, I mean, can we too many injuries. Too many. I feel like I talk about this, once a week. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 people on the IL. One person day to day. I mean, Bobby Miller, Jake Cousins, Gavin Stone, Evan Phillips, Landon Eck, Edwin Diaz, Jack Dreyer, Ben Kasparius, Glasnow, Blake Snell, Gratterall. All of those are pitchers, by the way. All those people I just named are all pitchers. Brock Stewart also on the IL. They only have 3 position players on the IL. Tommy Edman, hopefully with that ankle injury, is expected to come back soon. Kike Hernandez is set to be activated from the IL today on Monday. And then Max Muncy day-to-day with allegedly a bone bruise on his right wrist. He's been out the past couple of days just treating that. But they're saying, Dave Roberts says that Muncy won't need a CT scan, so Muncy should be fine. But, I mean, it's no status on Bobby Miller, no status on Jake Cousins, no status on Gavin. I mean, Gavin Stone's throwing. That's all we know. Evan Phillips threw a bullpen session. We don't know about Landon Eck. We don't know anything about Diaz. Jack Dreyer on the IL. We don't know anything about him. Ben Kasparius, same thing. Glass now has throwing again. It has started throwing. Blake Snell is to undergo surgery. When was the 18th? I gotta look at this. 18th was last Monday. So he had surgery last week. Snell did, which is the same surgery that Scooball got for loose bodies in his elbow. The one that, that's why Scooball's almost back is because of that surgery. So they did the same thing with Blake Snell. Gratterall is considering surgery, it says. Um, this Gratterall's been out for so long, just treating this injury, and I think it's about time he just gets surgery, gets it over with. Like, please, um, please get this guy surgery so he can come back. That man is ridiculous. Um, but I mean, Dodgers offense, I think there were a couple weeks where it was pretty shaky, but I mean, man, look at all of those over 200 batting averages. Like, that's ridiculous. There's only one person who has a below 200, and it's Mookie. Yes, he was injured for pretty much all of April. Hopefully, Mookie's coming back. He is back. Hopefully, he returns to Mookie form in his hitting, and he can get on base more, hit some homers, stop striking out or popping out. I think is really what it is. He only has 10 strikeouts. That's the big thing. But I mean, Andy Pages a 282 with 55 hits. Freddie Freeman a 261 with 49 hits. Kyle Tucker 251 with 47 hits. Otani 272 with 50 hits. Teoscar Hernandez 277 with 48 hits. Muncy 258 with 42 hits. Will Smith 247 with 36. We've been seeing a lot of Hae-Sung Kim. He has 28 hits on a 255 average. Freeland 235. Dalton Rushing 263. Miguel Rojas 256. We skipped Mookie because he's been out for a while. Alex Call 304 batting average. Santiago Espinal 220. Ryan Ward 333. I'm sorry, I don't like Espinal. I don't think he is a good hitter. I think I think he does not make good decisions when he's batting. Yeah. Watching him play, I'm like, dude, you like this is not good to watch. And also it's one of those things where it's like, can we just like I think the Dodgers have better players on the team than him, and I think we should be starting those players over him. Now, I'm sure it's tough though because we have Kike Hernandez coming back today, and hopefully Tommy Edman maybe at the start of June, um, or like middle of June. Hopefully, but it's just like Dodgers suffer from success. There are too many good players. I mean, I want to see Hae-Sung Kim play because I know he has the potential. I want to see Alex Freeland play. I know he has the potential. I want to see I want to see like all these players play, especially like our younger guys. But it's just like they're good, but so are the guys who we start more often than not. And so it's just like so they unfortunately just don't get a lot of playing time unless. I mean, thankfully, we've kind of just the Roberts has kind of just spread out across. It's just like okay, like give the players get more days off is what I'm trying to say. I think like outside of Otani. But when Otani does get a day off, Will Smith catches and Dalton Rushing DHs, and I think the DH spot for Rushing is a great spot for him. I think he's a bad catcher. I think he's also. I mean, it's all over the internet. He's just a snobby dude. I don't want to go as far as say he's a clubhouse cancer. I don't think he's that terrible of a personality in the dugout yet, but there have just been a lot of things that he said or like circulated where I'm just like, dude, you're embarrassing the clubhouse. Like, can we please lock it in? Like the raging he had, I forget when that was. I think it was a couple weeks ago. At this point, but like I'm just like, dude, like I understand you're frustrated, not hitting well, striking out, popping out, whatever it is, but it's just like can we chill out a little bit? Like we don't need to. It reminds me of that time. Oh, who was it? I think it. Who's on the Dodgers? It was. Was it Puig, Yasiel Puig, who like he struck out one time and just like started hammering his bat into the wall of the dugout or something like that? I think it was Puig. That sounds like Yasiel Puig. But I'm just like Dalton Rushing is just he very very egotistical, and I'm just like, dude, we need an ego check. You're not that guy. You're not like that. So let's chill out a little bit, and then we can really focus. I think the sooner Dalton Rushing focuses more on being a better baseball player, um, instead of like focusing on how he's going to respond to things, is when he'll like actually get better. Like obviously, they're all trying to improve every day, but it definitely feels like Dalton Rushing, you know, freaks out more about being, like freaks out a lot like by striking out or like popping out instead of like actually being like, it's like shoot that sucks, like what do I need to change? Just he definitely seems like that type of guy, and I think if that continues, I don't want him in the clubhouse. I want him gone. Because I think that type of activity, that very like egotistical, I'm I'm the best sort of mentality, it's like, or like I need to be better mentality. Uh, I need to be better in a sense of like, um, what I'm trying to say, cause cause like, oh, I need to be better because like I'm not playing well, but I think there's also like I'm playing well, but I need to be better because I think I should be better, or like I deserve to be the best, or something like that. Like that type of I need to be better mentality, I think can be cancerous to a clubhouse. So Dalton Rushing, shape up or ship out, bro. Um, we got we have other catchers. We can call somebody up from AAA. That's all I want to. That's all I want to say about that. The Braves, another top team here. I mean, like these guys are. This squad is crazy. Who would have thought? I mean, like this team, going back to last season, they're kind of like right in the middle. Um, missed the playoffs just barely. Or no, wait, sorry, was that? Hold on, guys, hold on. But before you start writing comments, okay, yes, they did miss the playoffs. They were a below 500 team last season. Um, yeah, I mean they're now atop the NL East, and everybody else is so far below them. This who would have thought? Who would have thought? Like these guys were crazy. Matt Olson 263, Ozzy Albies 274, Austin Riley 223, Mauricio Dubon 259, Drake Baldwin 303, Michael Harris the second 289, Acuna 242, Yastrzemski 229. Like all these guys, I mean they've Dominic Smith. He's played 42 games as the DH 327. Like these guys are freaking bonkers. I don't know how they do it. They have a total. They have 276 RBIs, a team average of 260. Like, what the heck? These guys are crazy. And I mean, their pitching staff as well. A combined team ERA, bullpen and starting pitchers 304. That's pretty good. Bryce Elder, a 197. Chris Sale. This guy's still in the league and he's still pitching. A 189 ERA with 72 strikeouts. Like, holy crap, this guy's 37. Like, who would have thought Chris Sale resurgence season? Not me. Not me. I wouldn't have thought. This guy's crazy. And I mean, they're relief pitchers too. I mean, you have Robert Suarez, a .81 ERA with 4 saves. Who's their other? Is it Raisel? Yeah. Raisel Iglesias, 8 saves with a 0 ERA. This guy's given up no runs this season. Like we got like get this guy in Cy Young talks. Like, come on now. I know he's a relief pitcher, but like, come on. Like, let's get it. Come on. Um, yeah, I mean, this team is ridiculous, and I mean, there's some people, on the IL. I mean, Drake Baldwin, he's on the IL. Um, he hit it last week with the oblique strain, so hopefully he comes back soon. But sometimes that can take a little bit longer. He's kind of like really the only notable guy who like the earlier in the season was doing really good. Uh, and he's only been out for about a week, but hopefully he comes back soon because they really need that guy. They probably have Jonah Heim catching right, or like Jonah Heim and Sandy Leon splitting time at catcher. Not really sure because they have 5 catchers on their roster, I guess. I don't know. That's a lot of catchers. But the Braves, these guys are crazy. A plus 102 run differential. That's the second best in the majors right now. On a losing streak of 2 right now, they're 6-4 across their last 10. But I don't think that is a testament to their power. I mean, I think it was just a couple of unfortunate. The offense just didn't have it those 2 nights. They lost 2 games to the Nationals. But I mean, we talk about playing good baseball. I mean, they swept, or sorry, they played 4 against the Marlins, took 3. Won a series against the Red Sox, one against the Cubs. Unfortunately, lost to my Dodgers, or won against my Dodgers last week. Um, but yeah, I mean the Braves, incredibly scary team. We'll talk about the Brewers too. Dodgers just took two from them. Very glad about that. Those were much needed wins for the Dodgers. But I mean, you got Contreras, Turang, Frelick, Bowers, Mitchell, Hamilton, like all those guys. It seems like they're the type of team where it's like they got a couple like big guys. Everyone else is kind of just okay. Um, I think it's kind of what we're seeing early on from this Brewers team is kind of like they're the guys who are like very obviously hitting well, and a couple guys who are just hitting okay, or like a couple smaller names who aren't hitting as well. But the Miz, a 189 ERA with 88 strikeouts on the season. This guy is ridiculous. I mean, then you have Kyle Harrison, a 177 with 59 strikeouts. Also crazy. Their worst pitcher is Brandon Sprout. But I mean, he's a starter, so you got to put him in that role regardless. Woodruff, I think, has kind of come slowly back. He started the season injured, and then you have Chad Patrick with a 263, the other starter. The rest of, I mean, their bullpen is kind of shaky, though. I will say that. I mean, if you look at the guys who have the most saves for the team, they all have ERAs above, 4 and 5. Kind of crazy. There are only a couple of guys who haven't been given like save opportunities or hold opportunities who have below twos or like hovering around those mid two area. A couple guys who have 0 ERAs across 2 innings. So I mean, I think there are a couple guys that this team could pull out to utilize more often than some of the other guys who have higher ERAs. But I'm not the skipper. That's not my decision. I just think that they could. I think that they could be playing late innings pitching a little bit better. They do have. I mean, Woodruff did hit the IL again, so I don't know. That guy might be over. If he keeps having injury ridden seasons, I don't know if he'll play much anymore. He's 33 years old, so kind of like I think he's definitely hitting the tail end of his season of his career here. And if he keeps getting injured, I don't think there's much more ball that he can play, if I'm gonna be honest. But Brewers, another very scary team. Um, and I don't know. I hope that the rest of the NL Central kind of wakes up a little bit because they were definitely a threat for a while. Some of those mediocre teams we thought were going to be mediocre are mediocre again, like the Pirates and Reds. The Cubs, shockingly a mediocre team, but maybe those guys learned how to hit the ball a little bit more. And then we'll wrap it up here by talking about the last above 30 win team here, the Padres. I mean, this team, they're scary. I was very stressed out, in that series that they played against the Dodgers. Yes, the Dodgers did take 2 games from them, but um, they I just felt scared. I felt like at any moment that the Padres could just go on a crazy a crazy run. Getting like 5 runs in 1 inning, something like that. Like it definitely felt like that was never out of the question uh, when watching that series. You have Tatis Jr., who, by the way, still has 0 home runs this season. We have played like we've played almost 55 games. Some teams have. Um, so I don't know. The fact that you're home runless through over 50 games is kind of crazy. But I mean, Tatis still has 47 hits and a 247 average. So I mean, he's still putting the ball in play, just not over the fence. And then you have Bogarts batting 250 on the season for him. I think kind of like a breakout star for them this season. Machado is their worst hitter right now. Thank goodness. That guy definitely needs an ego check of being pretty terrible at baseball right now. Um, Ramon Laureano, Miguel Andujar. This guy is crazy. Kind of came up out of nowhere. He's batting 280 with 5 homers. Very scary threat at the dish. Same thing with Gavin Sheets, 253 with 9 home runs on the season for the Padres. And the rest of the hitters are kind of just okay. I mean, you have Ty France, one of their backup first baseman, batting 279, and then their backup catcher behind Freddie Fermin, Luis Campusano, who's batting 288 through 52 plate appearances, but everybody else is batting below 200. So I don't know. Uh, it's kind of crazy. I think part of it is definitely their pitching. I think is kind of what's winning them games. I mean, Michael King, 276 ERA, Randy Vasquez, 296. I mean, I think are the big names for their starters. The rest of their starters are just okay. But I mean, yeah, I think it's their bullpen that gets them through. As even if their starters have bad innings or whatever, their bullpen can kind of just their bullpen can get through it. That's what I'm seeing. Sorry, Bradley, I think is how you say that. Rodriguez 178. Mason Miller 076 with 47 strikeouts. Like this guy's crazy. Mason Miller is ridiculous. He very very scary pitcher. He has 16 saves on the season. I think that's the most in majors. Jason Adam has 11 holds and a 102 ERA. Yuki Matsui come in for 10, also pitching well. Yeah, but I mean, this Padres team is scary, very scary. They're gonna try. They're gonna be a threat in the NL West for sure. I hope that they kind of lose it, just for the sake of the Dodgers. I don't want to. These guys are some of the most egotistical hotheads in baseball, and it's just it. I don't get it. I don't get it. They will always be little brother to the Dodgers, and I think they kind of just need to stop acting like that they are, the king of the hill. They aren't. They haven't been for years. They have the 2021 NL Divisional Series or 2022, whatever year that was. I don't know. Doesn't matter because guess who's more World Series appearances than the Padres? The Rockies, one of the worst teams in baseball. So I don't know. But I think there are a couple teams that are looking to get hot still. I mean, Athletics, they're still winning. They're the best in the AL West right now. I think there are a couple other teams who are kind of just I don't know if they're looking to try and get hot to try and push into the playoffs. So if they're kind of giving up the Tigers, not really sure. Because there are talks that Scooball is going to be traded. Which I'm sorry, I know your team is playing poorly. I know. I get it. That does not mean you trade away your star. This is going to turn into Luka Doncic to the Lakers situation again. Where it's like it's just so far fetched of an idea. It's like why would you trade that away? Like you can continue. You need to just have other people there to build around your star player. I think it would be stupid for the Tigers to trade away Tarek Skubal. And I will say this for anybody who's listening. Okay, yes, the four most likely teams he's going to go to are the Dodgers, the Jays, the Yankees, or the Padres. Yes, I understand. I fully understand that. Or sorry, not the Padres, the Mets. The Dodgers, the Jays, the Yankees, the Mets. Okay, those are the four most likely teams because they spend the most money. I understand. Okay, but I if you're complaining about that, the problem is not those teams. The problem is everybody else who doesn't want I'm talking you want to know who needs a pitcher like Tarek Skubal? The Rockies. The Rockies need Tarek Skubal. Come on, the Angels need Tarek Skubal. The Mets honestly could use Tarek Skubal right now. Yeah, the Red Sox could use Tarek Skubal. All I'm saying is that it's it the reason why we're even having discourse over Tarek Skubal is going to go to the Dodgers and they're going to have another great pitcher. That'd be fantastic. Um, as a Dodgers fan, I'm saying. Um, but the problem is not the Dodgers who are willing to spend money on Tarek Skubal. The problem is the Reds who aren't willing to spend money on Tarek Skubal. The problem is the Angels who aren't willing to spend money on Tarek Skubal. The Rockies who aren't willing to spend money on Tarek Skubal. It's those teams who don't want to spend the money because they love their money. And I think that's the biggest problem. But I think that'll definitely be a storyline to watch as we get closer to the trade deadline. Um, so very, very interesting to see where Tarek Skubal lands. If he stays in Detroit or if he goes somewhere else, I don't know. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. So we're gonna take a quick look at the upcoming schedule. We got it is Monday, sorry. So just a couple light games. We got quite a few series starting. We got two NL West matchups. You got the D-backs and Giants, and then the Rockies and Dodgers playing. So maybe, we'll talk about those. I'm curious to see how the Phillies and Padres series go as well. Just because the Phillies, I think, are definitely a team that are looking to get hot again against a team that is already hot. So looking to see how that goes. Might take a peek at those. We have what else is happening later in the week. Nothing else really of note. So let's head to the weekend here. Our weekend series. uh, the Yankees and Athletics. That would be a funny one. See if the Athletics can overcome the Yankees once again at home, if you can even call it their home. Um, and then maybe I don't know. I think that's kind of really the only notable matchup for both teams. Everything else is kind of just okay, or it's definitely seemed like that'll just be a one-sided matchup. But yeah, we will see you guys back here next week. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all those things. Leave a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, helps out a ton. Share this with people who you think might also enjoy, this type of podcast here every week, just talking about baseball, the stuff that's happening every single week. And as always, looking for help on the podcast. So if you want to help co-host, because I think I've kind of mentioned this past couple weeks, Steven is a little bit busier with some stuff with our job, and then also some stuff with Rockies and Elevated Pulse Sports. So he's getting a little bit busier, so he can't always be here every week. Or if you want to run a social media page, like please, 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 we need someone to run social media pages. We don't have any right now, because we just don't have the capacity to do that. Me and Steven. So if you want to do that, please reach out. Please, please, please. We need someone to run social media pages. But that is going to do it for this week for Baseball Now. Thank you again, everybody, for watching and listening, and I will see you all next week. Peace out.